Not too happy about this one. Hey, my name is Schuyler. I'm the founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness, where our goal is to help get you in the best shape of your life, lose fat, build muscle, and do it all without the strict dieting, without the torturous cardio, and definitely without tracking all of your macros or calories. What we're going to talk about in this video, as well as every single other video I put out on this channel, is geared to get you in the best shape of your life, and it's helped clients of mine lose weight, build muscle, and most importantly, build the confidence to know that the weight they lose isn't going to come back on. So if you are looking for more ways to simplify the process of getting healthy, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you tap that bell so you can be notified when we release new videos. Now this week, Logan Paul and KSI announced the new Prime Beverage line, which is an energy drink called Prime Energy. And so because they've done so well with their Prime Hydration, I figured I would give their Prime Energy drink a review. Now I can pretty much expect that this drink is going to do very, very well on the market. And so just to clarify, this is not a taste review. I'm not going to be tasting the drink. If you're new here, everything I do on this channel is geared towards health. And so we're going to be reviewing the ingredients. So their selling points of this drink is that Prime Energy is only 10 calories, that there is 200 milligrams of caffeine, hence the energy, 300 milligrams of electrolytes, 0 sugar, and vegan. And so per usual, when we're looking at kind of those keywords, it's framed as a very healthy drink. But if you guys have been following my stuff, you know that the drink does not tell the whole story and that we have to take a look at the ingredients. So on this list, we've got carbonated filtered water, coconut water from concentrate, citric acid, natural flavor, calcium lactate, magnesium citrate, potassium citrate, sodium citrate, caffeine, sucralose, potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate, L-theanine, inositol, glucuronolactone, taurine, acesulfame potassium, pyridoxine hydrochloride, and cyanocobalamin. So quite a hefty ingredient list, which if you find an energy drink on the market, you're probably going to find the same things. And so for most people, they look at a list like this and they have no idea what it means. And so we're going to break down each ingredient individually. So first of all, we got carbonated filtered water, which is typically the first ingredients in drinks like this, so that's fine. Next, we move into coconut water from concentrate. Now the Prime Hydration had this up there on their list as well, and I'm not a fan of this ingredient just because it's one of those things that's just added for taste. Coconut water is typically extremely high in electrolytes and nutrients and is vital, but coconut water from concentrate basically boils the coconut water down, which allows it to taste more sweet but removes any of the necessary nutrients. And so that's my beef with a lot of these companies, is what you'll see as we get into this is they're adding these nutrients back, and typically when these nutrients are man-made, they're not as bioavailable, meaning your body can't use as much naturally. Next ingredient, we've got citric acid, which is a preservative. I'm not a huge fan of this, but it's not a deal breaker for me. Then we get into the fun stuff. So the next ingredient is natural flavor. Now for natural flavor to be this high up on the ingredient list, it means that there's quite a bit of it. Ingredients are listed out from the highest amount to the lowest amount in this product. And so when you hear natural flavors, you hear natural, so it's probably good. The problem is that natural flavors has no sort of guidelines of what can actually be in it. Basically, when companies put this in there, it's a proprietary blend, so it's a mix of a bunch of stuff we don't know. Now, the problem with this is that the majority of natural flavors are created in a lab. The goal of these natural flavors is to hook your taste buds. So if you consume this, the actual composition of your taste buds change, which causes you to become more adjusted to these artificial foods and drinks. And so we're seeing a big problem in today's society where people are addicted to these junk foods, these foods that didn't exist 50 plus years ago. And while there are a lot of ingredients that are a lot more obvious where you see it and you know, okay, this probably isn't that good, natural flavors is one of those ones that goes under the radar. When you read it, it typically doesn't raise a red flag because it says natural. Natural flavor can also contain something called maltodextrin, which is one of those ingredients that can spike your blood sugar a lot. And so it interacts in your body the same as a sugar, but manufacturers don't have to categorize it as sugar. So you may be getting a blood sugar spike from this, but you don't know because they don't have it written on the label. Along with that, natural flavors can contain something called MSG, which is also there to drive your appetite, to change your taste buds, and to make you chemically addicted to this type of stuff. So this is the first red flag for me. We're looking at a society that really has problems saying no to artificial food, and because of it, we're looking at a society that is massively overweight. And so ingredients like this, even though maybe a little bit here and there won't do much, because it's in so many different products, it's all contributing to this problem. So yeah, so the fact that it's this high on this list is a problem for me. Next, we get into calcium lactate, magnesium citrate, potassium citrate, and sodium citrate. So these are your electrolyte compounds here, so they're added back in because the coconut water didn't have them. I'm not a huge fan of ingredients like this just because it's less natural. If you're getting vitamins from a specific food, the way that vitamin interacts with that food means it's more bioavailable to be used by your body. Whereas if you just extract that mineral and you consume it by itself, it's not going to interact in your body the same. So you are getting electrolytes here. They're not necessarily damaging you. They're not bad or anything like that, but it is something to be aware of that they're not as good as when they're in their natural form. Next, you've got caffeine. So we got about 200 milligrams here per can. In an energy drink, the lower end of the spectrum is going to be like 80 milligrams. Higher end is going to be like 300 to 400 milligrams. So it's a decent amount. It's not crazy. Next, we got sucralose. So also not happy about this one. This is an artificial sweetener. So this is another reason why the drink is going to taste so sweet without actually having any sugars on the can. Now, sucralose doesn't necessarily spike your insulin, so your body doesn't respond in the same way as a sugar. But the problem here is that sucralose is damaging to your gut health. Now, gut health is a whole video on its own, but the basics is that your body has billions and billions of bacteria inside of it. Some are good, some are bad in your gut. And based on the level of good versus bad, you're going to have different responses from your body. And so poor gut health is going to lead to poor digestion, higher appetite. It's even connected to the brain and can lead to things like depression and anxiety. And so again, a little sucralose here and there isn't the worst thing, but if you're consistently consuming this on a daily basis and you're getting it from multiple sources, even if you're trying to stay sugar-free, you're hurting your gut bacteria, which is actually going to make things worse. And then along with the gut bacteria, when you consume something that's that sweet, but you don't get any calories from it, your body goes into overdrive to consume more sweet things. So if you struggle with a nasty sweet tooth, if you are always craving sweet things, sucralose may be a reason why. So not too happy with that, but any sugar-free thing, you're going to find this in even pre-workouts, which a lot of people think are always healthy. You're going to find this in other energy drinks. Anything that typically tastes sweet but says 0 sugars or 1 gram of sugar is most likely containing artificial sweeteners like this. I would prefer a company like this use a stevia, which is a more natural source of sweeteners. It's not the best of the best, but it's absolutely better in terms of gut health and how your body responds than a sucralose. Next, we've got potassium sorbate, which is a preservative. We've also got sodium benzoate, which is a preservative. Also not a fan of these because these damage your gut health. There's a study in Folia Microbial, which found that these ingredients, even in small amounts, which again, probably a small amount in this can, but even these small amounts can damage the gut. What they found that these ingredients actually affect specific strains of gut bacteria. And so not only are they hindering the growth of the good bacteria, but they're allowing the growth of the bad bacteria. So the good bacteria is good for anti-inflammation. The bad bacteria causes pro-inflammation. So again, if you're continuously feeding these bad ones, you're continuously depriving these good ones, it's going to lead to imbalances in your gut that again can create inflammation, mental health issues, digestive issues, all these things that are going to lead to you being more unhealthy down the road. So when you see things like potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate, they're there to preserve the drink. They're there to give the drink a longer shelf life. But the problem is when you're consuming these ingredients, when you're consuming artificial sweeteners like sucralose or the one we're about to get to in a moment, it can stimulate poor gut health, which again, connected to poor mental health, pro-inflammation, all the things that are going to lead us to be less healthy down the road. So next is L-theanine. I'm actually happy about this. So this is an amino acid that's more calming. And so typically when you pair this with a caffeine, you don't get much of the caffeine jitters. It's more of a clean energy. So while it is lower on the list and you're not really going to see a dosage on here, it is something that's probably helping you along the way. Next, we've got inositol. This is a B vitamin, so this is vitamin B8. This one's actually great for you as well. This can help with insulin resistance. Now, this isn't like the key to insulin health. Obviously, you have to make sure you're eating an okay diet, but this can help with insulin along the way. It can help with acne, PCOS. Again, because it's this low on the ingredient list, I doubt that this is a dosage that's high enough to actually have any benefits for you, but maybe you're getting a little bit on there, so it's not something I'm mad about. Next, we've got glucuronolactone. This is a common ingredient in other energy drinks, and the issue here is there's really not that much research about it, and it doesn't contribute to energy. So I'm assuming it's more of a preservative, but I really don't know. Apparently, it is helpful for physical and mental functions of our body, but there is very, very little research, and when we take a look at it, again, it's low on the list, so there's probably not that much in it. Next, we've got taurine. Taurine is another amino acid, so it's a part of protein. It's also very good for you, but again, super low on the list, so I don't really know how to feel about it. Next, we've got acesulfame potassium. This is another artificial sweetener, so it's in the same category as sucralose. In my opinion, if I were to choose one, I'd probably prioritize sucralose. They're both not that great for you, but acesulfame potassium is also going to damage gut health, stimulate appetite, do all the things that are going to make it more difficult to be healthy and to keep weight off in the future. Then we got pyridoxine hydrochloride, vitamin B6. We've got cyanocobalamin, which is vitamin B12. Great. B vitamins are great, but again, it's also very low on the list. And that's kind of when we come over to the actual label. So we got 10 calories here, which for a drink, not bad at all. Again, keeping in mind you're getting a lot of the artificial stuff. So even though you may have a low dosage of calories when you drink one of these, and it may help you fit into your macros for that day if you're tracking macros, problem is that over time, and if you're getting other sources from low calories that have all these preservatives, it's going to stimulate your appetite. So it's going to make it harder to stay within those bounds of calories. There's a great study out there that compared the difference of having the same exact calories and macros with real food versus processed food. The people who ate the processed food tended to eat about 500 calories more and gained weight, whereas the people who ate the real food tended to lose weight in the process. So again, we want to stick with real food. We can't just look at calories because that's a very straight line of thinking. We've got to look at a holistic lens of, well, what are the ingredients in these calories doing to how my body responds, how my mind responds, how I act in the future. But we got some sodium in there, 2%, so not a huge dose, but you're really not going to find tons of sodium in most electrolyte products. 4 grams of carbs, which I'm assuming is probably coming from the coconut water, and could be coming from the natural flavors because, again, the maltodextrin might be in there. Calcium, you got 4% of your daily value. Potassium, 2%. Again, in most other supplements, you're not going to get that much. Magnesium, I do wish there was more of that, 15% of your daily value. It's good to aim for like 400 to 500 milligrams a day, and most people are very, very low on magnesium. It's essential for over 300 different processes in the body, and most people don't have enough. And then for vitamin B6 and B12, we got a high enough dosage where that's fine by me. So yes, so this is the full breakdown of the label, and why I'm doing this is because it's frustrating to me to see people who have such high influence, such as Logan Paul and KSI, create a drink like this that, again, by itself, probably not doing much damage. But the issue is in our current market of food, you're getting hit from every single angle. We're looking at snacks, we're looking at drinks, we're looking at candies, we're looking at desserts, we're looking at all these foods that have been processed and boxed. And when you combine them together, it mixes this concoction that makes it so much more difficult to lose weight, that skyrockets the chances of you having things like diabetes, heart disease, all these other health issues. And that in general does not make you healthier. If you're looking for a caffeine energy drink, my best bet would be coffee, as long as you are old enough to have coffee. Besides that, I would go for an energy drink that uses a monk fruit or an organic stevia or organic erythritol. If I was looking for an energy drink, again, if it's every once in a while, fine. But if I really wanted to clean up my diet and be smart, I would go with a Jocko Go drink. This one uses monk fruit, I believe, and is way, way better with the ingredients. So overall, not my first choice of drink. I'm not happy with it because it is just another thing that's going to make a ton of money that's not going to benefit the people consuming it. Yes, maybe you get a little high of energy for an hour or two after drinking it, but do it over and over and you're going to have appetite changes. You're going to make it harder to lose weight. It's not going to contribute to you living a better life. So I know this is a lot, but I did want to really dig into it to help you understand if you are drinking this, because I remember growing up, I didn't know anything about ingredients. Every weekend, I would go to Trader Joe's after church with my parents and I would treat myself to an energy drink. And looking back, the ingredients in there were so bad. And at the time, they were absolutely contributing to things like headaches, poor sleep, food cravings. Again, all the things that you want to avoid. So just be aware out there. This is the biggest thing. There's so many ingredients in food that people aren't educated about. And if you aren't educated, you can't make the best decisions for you. You get caught up in the deception of marketing of using terms like sugar-free or low calorie or all the things that make you think it's healthy. Meanwhile, it's damaging your metabolism and contributing to a bunch of other health issues. So be smart out there. If you are watching this and you're looking to lose weight and you've tried over and over and over and you have really, really struggled, I encourage you to check the link in the description of this video. If you go to that page, we got a free training there for you that lays out our fat loss strategy and why it's so much more effective than standard dieting. And if it seems like a good fit, you also have the opportunity to book a call with myself to see if working together would be the best option for your fat loss goals. But with that being said, I appreciate you as always. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if this helped you. And of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.